Hi there, so today I'm talking about the top 5 countries you should visit if you're an artist, a content creator, painter, whatever artistry you have in you. For me, it's dancing. These are the countries that, in my personal experience, I would recommend. And even if you're someone who just loves to travel and not necessarily want to create anything, these countries are also great to visit because of this vibe of the spice it brings and all the different elements that will probably inspire you. So maybe if you think you're not an artist, you'll become an artist after seeing these countries. So by the way, I'm Amal and thanks for joining if you're new here. So I've traveled in the last 2 years around Africa, Asia, Americas, creating content around dance, sharing tips and travel videos, and absolutely loving my life. So thank you for joining me and hope you can stay tuned for my top 5 list. All right, so first we have Brazil. It's not in which one is best or not. This is in alphabetical order. So we have Brazil, obviously the freshest one I have on my mind. As a creative, as an artist, as a dancer, I absolutely loved Brazil. And the reason you will as well is because there's something for everyone. It's a huge ass country, first of all. And literally it takes more than 3 months. I was there for 3 months, but you would need a whole year to explore the immensity that is Brazil, the diversity, the mixing, the colors, so many things there to spark your creativity, to spark your inspiration. I only did Rio and Salvador and Sao Paulo, but even in those 3 cities, I was so inspired by the landscapes, the nature, the people, the history. There's so many things I loved. Obviously, dancing and meeting people was my highlight in Brazil. So wherever you go, the people are very kind and warm, and whatever art skill you have, you can find somewhere there who's going to relate, whether it's just painting on the beach. I met someone who was just doing water painting and we struck up a conversation like that. I was just dancing the day of my birthday and someone came to me and said, "Shall we dance together?" And what else? If you're a musician, you can find people performing on the street. There is samba, really samba music in Rio de Janeiro. Everywhere there's a samba street party. So if you enjoy music, you'll love that. In Salvador, there's the drumming. In Pelourinho, that drumming is just something so tribal in there that awakens your ancestral creativity. I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy here, but all of this to say that Brazil is a country of many different wavelengths, different colors, different people. There's no one Brazilian look, first of all. It's got that history from Africa, so it's got the African roots. But even with that African ancestry, I thought I was gonna find maybe some Amapiano from South Africa, Afrobeats. But what I loved about Brazil is the fact that they were like, no, we don't need to take anything that's going on in Africa right now. We have our samba, we have our passinho, born in the favelas. We have our own traditions. We have capoeira. Yes, it is rooted in Africa, but the way the Brazilians do it, they mix it in their own flavor. And I think that's what's so brilliant. If you're there, even if you're not an artist, you'll become inspired by Brazil. So Brazil, thank you so much. You are dear to my heart. Number 2, we have Morocco. Okay, I'm gonna try not to be too biased here with Morocco. But really, I would say to anyone who's an aspiring photographer, maybe, or video maker, Morocco is absolutely the place to go because of contrast. You've got the terracotta orange, the red earth from the south, with the green palm trees, with the greenery around, and that's a typical landscape in the south. You've got these, like a seabed of palm trees, like a place called Tinrir in the south of Morocco. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's an oasis of palm trees surrounded by like the orange canyons of Todra Gorge. It's just so beautiful. For any photographer, anyone who loves to take pictures, you will love that striking contrast. And obviously you've got the blue city, and the more north you go, the more sort of like Mediterranean it gets. You've got the white and the blue hues. You've got in the ocean, if you go on the west side of the country, the ocean sparks so much creativity as well, because you see so much going on with the fishermen, with the market. And that's another thing that Morocco is great for, and why it will inspire you, because it kept its traditional charm. You've got all the ancestral things like the women sitting down to weave the rugs, people making tea practices, and it's mixed very well with the modern. So you've got the big cities like Casablanca and Rabat, where you can meet very interesting creative people as well and exchange your art like that. So Morocco, definitely one for creatives, whether you're a painter, a musician, a dancer, a photographer, really. I think there will be something there for you for sure. Okay, next we've got, finally, I'm talking about Nigeria. When I started making these videos about top countries and African countries, I never spoke about Nigeria, so I'm sorry. Nigerians, I love you. I love your country. I absolutely adored going to Nigeria, even though everyone told me not to go to Lagos. I went for a friend's wedding, so I was first of all inspired by that, just from the different outfits and the music and the fact there's two separate weddings, one for formal, one for like informal, but it felt very formal. Anyway, there's a party scene like no other in Nigeria. I think in all my travels, that was my favorite place to go. As a dancer, it was the home of Afrobeats, you know, a genre of music and dance I love. So I was there in the best parties and the best nightclubs to dance. So 100% if you're a dancer, if you like Afrobeats, do get your ass into Nigeria. Don't listen to anyone about danger or whatever. Once you get there, you will connect with other dancers and they will take you around like local people who know the place. They're very friendly. And what I found actually the most interesting in Nigeria is the level of education, the very good grasp of English, probably linked to the fact that they're also like Africa's champions in Scrabble, which is a fun fact that might amuse you. It amused me for sure, because I thought that was so random and I wasn't expecting Nigeria to be the Scrabble champions, but there you go. But that means they have very good English and also their native language are very good. And then last but not least, in Nigeria, you will find the biggest art collection in paintings and everything, actually, sculptures and everything. It's called the Nike Art Gallery. It's in Lagos. If you ever get the chance to go, I highly recommend. Biggest collection in Africa. It's on 5 floors. I even found a painting of Morocco's king on a door, and I wish I wasn't backpacking, you know, I wish I could buy so much stuff there. And if you're a painter, an aspiring painter, just walking around those 5 floors will definitely get your creative juices flowing, that's for sure. So Nigeria, I could speak so much more about Nigeria, but definitely if you're creative, if you're an artist, or even if you're an entrepreneur, that's the spirit of people there. They're ready to collaborate with you and talk business. They love that. Okay, next up, I can't make this list without talking about London especially. So when I say UK, I'm going to talk about London, the city that I'm from, where I grew up since the age of 7, and is the reason really I'm creative and I have an open mind. It's because I grew up in London. London is definitely a place for artists. It's a place where you can just walk around the street and see how someone is dressed and you will get inspired. It's a place where you can take the London Underground and see things you'll never see before, like someone shouting with a microphone and giving a speech, someone dancing on the Underground. There's also a rave that happened inside the London Underground. Drunk people always make me laugh and give me ideas. People are so different. They come from all around the world. Literally, it's a melting pot. It's a crossroads for everyone. It's just a place to be, even though people have left. I know it's expensive, it's tricky, but London is always a place people come back to meet. It's where it's happening, where all the exhibitions are happening, where all the events are happening. Social media events, I found so many here. Community building. There's really any artistic skill you have, you can explore here in London. And for inspiration, my favorite thing to do is just go to a museum, and they're all free and they're all brilliant. There's also the paid exhibitions, but you know, if you are willing to put that budget, that time especially, into your creative journey, then London is definitely that place with all its museums and all its galleries, all the people you can meet, and yeah, definitely you can collaborate. Also, London's got this energy. Yes, it is very individual, but I've got a friend who's very good at vlogging, and he just goes to the street and people like stop and talk to him sometimes and talk about his fashion sense, and he does the same to other people. So definitely there's this energy where you can just strike up a conversation with people, and that's why I love it. Okay, last but certainly not least in this list is Uganda. First of all, for nature. If you're anything like me, then you will be inspired by nature. The fact that it's underrated, but it's got the most amazing safaris of animals. When you're exposed to that biodiversity of nature and animals and forests, and when you get lost in species of trees you've never seen before, you know, that will put you in this abundance mindset that anything is possible because you're surrounded by so much purity in nature that you will want to create something out of that new renewal state that you will find yourself. I've got this great experience of being in the Bwindi forest of gorillas. I had the privilege to stay in this eco lodge, and I was just standing in front of the gorilla home and just literally felt renewed, like my lungs were refreshed. The nature there is very special. The lakes, Lake Victoria, it's like the birthplace of humanity. So a very special place. Also because of dancing, like you're encouraged from a very young age to dance. And I obviously had the experience there, meeting so many different groups and working with children. In the charity work I did in the last 2 years is the level of confidence they have and the beauty and the joy that exudes from them because they're just so free and they want to express. So this exchange is what inspired me the most in all my travels, like just being free and forgetting any shame, forgetting anything and just dancing with these children and meeting their managers and hearing more about their story. And if you're a filmmaker or documentary maker, this is also great. This will inspire you to follow this journey, first in nature with the gorillas, maybe with elephants, with any safari, and then maybe going to meet the families, the people who are the happiest and they're willing to just open their doors, open their arms, and welcome you. And that is brilliant because it's such a great opportunity then to interview them and find out more, share, raise awareness. And this goes beyond Uganda, even in Rwanda and Kenya. I find that people there are so ready to open their door for you and just not be scared to share their story. I think it's very, very important for them to share. You know, your donation of time is the most important, to see how you can support and how you can create and how you can just collaborate in a very wholesome and meaningful manner. So yes, Uganda, I put it to last, but really it's high up there on my best countries I've visited, not just as a creative, but overall as a human. It was such a life-changing experience for me. So I really highly recommend you go to Uganda. Do take your malaria pills though. Anyway, that's the top 5 countries for me to share to you as a creative from my personal creative experience. The other thing I want to add as well is tips. So my tips for you when you go out there, you want to click, literally click and connect, is to go on Instagram. So that was my favorite tool. Just literally search the country. If it's Brazil, just type in Brazil. The thing you're interested in, if it's music, so samba, just put samba, Brazil, and then creators will come up. That's how I found filmmakers in Brazil. That's how I found dancers in Indonesia. In Uganda, I mean, they contacted me and people had told me about all the dancers in Uganda. So that was different. But still, I used Instagram to direct message them, not to find them, but just to communicate. So Instagram is really my tool to communicate, to find. It's like a Google for me. It's a great place to, you know, it's like a portfolio so you can see what the artist is about. Then if you're going to collaborate on Instagram together, it's also great to showcase and to reach more people. You know, don't be scared to ask for those collaborations. You'll really find that most people are open-minded to that. So that's my top tip for you creatives out there. Do go, even if you're not an artist and you're traveling. I think the best way to find out about a country is to talk to someone who's creative and maybe who's struggling and who's been on the road a lot, and they can give you the best tips and tell you the best thing about their country. It's really my favorite way to travel, even if you're not going to create something, but just to nourish your soul and really find out other people are doing and how they're living creatively. So yeah, there you go. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave me a comment what country inspires you, where you would like to create content, and please subscribe if you want to see more of this. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.